welcome to my channel. This is Chilling with Adey. I've got with me my very good friend. But first, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel, for everyone who's been viewing, who's been liking me, who's been sending messages. I'd like to say a very big thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, today I said I've got someone important I'm going to be bringing to you today. We've known each other for over 15 years, Chris.
Yeah, back in
Over
the days of
15
Hellfire.
years. Yeah, Hellfire days. He's a friend, he's a brother. His family is like my family friend now. He was the groomsman, one of the groomsmen to my husband when we were having our wedding 11 years ago. I can't believe it. It's time
That's gone by quick.
I know, right? So I'm going to leave it to Chris right now, and I would like him to introduce himself to you. Chris, over to you, man.
Oh yeah. Gosh, just thinking about the Hellfire days back in Bath. It's mad to think like it was about 15 years.
It started in Bristol, didn't it?
Yeah. It started down in was it Temple Quay? Sort of down there, or sort of Redcliffe Quay.
Yeah.
Down there, and sort of working in that building, on the water side.
Yeah.
And then gradually that sort of shut down, and we moved back over to Bath.
Yeah.
And then,
let me tell you one thing about Chris, guys. Chris was my trainer. So the first time I came into Hellfire, I was put to sit beside him for him to train me. He was so funny. Honestly, I didn't even concentrate on my work. He was always cracking jokes on me. He made me feel really comfortable. So Chris, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my show. Really, I bring people on this show and I share my experience as well of times that I've had like difficult challenges and how I've been able to overcome it. And this is because there's someone out there who's been going through one thing or the other, and it might just be a coincidence that it's like the same thing I've gone through. And it's just to help people out there going through similar situation. It could be a young person, it could be an old person. It's just to encourage everyone that, look, you're not alone in this. Someone somewhere has gone through it. So I'm just going to ask you tonight, Chris, could you tell us of a situation where you have been in a very difficult situation, and how were you able to cope with it?
Yeah, I suppose going back to, must have been about 10 or 11 years old. Yeah. And they had this sort of SWEB sponsored tennis tournament, and myself and a school friend, Stuart, had joined in. We kind of thought, right, we'll go in for this, just kind of see how we get on. We kind of sort of did right, gradually going through the games, and I'd kind of won first round, next round, and kind of kept on going through, and then eventually got to the final. And my dad had come along and joined me, and then was cheering on, sort of supporting me. And Stu and his dad did also come along, and they were supporting as well. And when I was playing in the final, I was playing against this other kid, and I think there must have been about 15, 20 other people that were just there cheering him on. And every time he was winning a point, they were kind of going, yeah, well done.
Where were your fans, Chris?
I don't know. It was really weird. It's like when I won a point, it was hardly any noise at all. And then when he won a point, it was like all the other parents and that were just kind of cheering on and saying. Yeah. So it kind of, I don't know, it kind of really sort of got to me. And then eventually at one point, I just kind of turned around and looked at everybody and said, why can't you cheer for me like you're cheering for this guy? And they were like shocked.
Like, what's this guy talking about?
Yeah, it's like, what's this, kid sort of looking at us, telling us what to do.
Oh, bless you. And one thing about Chris, guys, is back in the Hellfire days, I gave him a nickname. I don't know if he remembers this nickname, but I'm just going to ask him to say it if he remembers it. Chris, over to you.
Yeah, it's Chief Ogbono, aka Gary.
Yeah, seriously, guys. Chief Ogbono, aka Gary. That was his
Oh,
nickname. He came to our house one day and he had suya. Did you have suya? Suya.
say again, sorry.
Did you have
Suya.
suya? Yes.
Suya.
There was this spicy beef I gave to you, and it was really
Oh
hot.
yes.
So yeah, that was called suya.
That was
So he's truly African, guys. Chris is truly African. If you know what he's talking about, it's not good to be in a situation whereby everyone cheers the other person and no one is cheering him. He had just his dad, right, Chris? You had just his dad.
Yeah. It's pretty much my dad and my school friend and his dad, and that was it. It's nobody else. Yeah.
I feel so much for you, Chris. Yeah, I wish you knew us back then. We would have been cheering for you. You know that. So the bottom point of this discussion today is you're not alone. Yeah, Chris may have felt alone in that situation. Every other person was cheering for the other. Are you sure the guy didn't bribe them? Because that's what I'm thinking now.
Wow.
I'm thinking because the other guy had fans, so I'm thinking maybe the dad says, "Oh, you guys come around, come cheer my son up," so that he could keep going.
Whether they were like from the same school or I have no idea, but yeah, it was just loads of people cheering him on.
Oh dear me. So I felt so sorry for Chris, being alone at that point at the time. I wish I'd known him then. I would have called my crew to come cheer him up, but hey, he's over it now. How did you get over that day, Chris? How did you get over that situation? Like, did you think over it at night? Were you crying over it, or?
No, it's weird. I kind of sort of dug deep in the situation, and eventually I beat the person I was playing against and won the final.
Oh, so you won at the end in the final?
Yeah, it kind of spurred me on to kind of think, right, I'm gonna do this now.
Oh wow, that's good. So you kept
won like
going.
a little trophy and that. Yeah,
you got
kept going.
A trophy. Oh, okay. Oh, so there's a lesson in this. This is a very interesting one. So for many people, if it was Adey, like I'm being honest here, if it was Adey, I'll probably cry and say, I'm not going back there. Nobody cheered me up, things like that. But I've learned something from Chris's story that no matter how you've been beaten, you can still keep going and you can still win in life. Yeah, you just have to keep trying.
Just kind of use that kind of you use that force and that energy to kind of like motivate you and push you on to kind of prove them wrong and sort of prove them that you can do it.
Definitely. Tips from Chris Bowen, everybody. Tips from Chris Bowen. He's been a good friend. I'm so grateful that he's on my show today. And how's your family, Chris?
Yeah,
I'm sorry I'm asking at the end of the show, but
no, that's fine. Honestly, that's fine. I suppose another challenge in life that kind of learning to deal with and still learning to deal with is just the kind of challenge of being a parent as well, because it's something you never taught. I mean, the only kind of other experience I suppose you have is like your parents and how they kind of raised you and brought you up. But apart from that, I mean, you can see people being parents, but until you've kind of personally gone through it, it's a whole different kind of experience. It can really change you as well.
Actually, I'm going to ask you a question, Chris, if you don't mind. So do you see some certain attitudes that you did like as a child, as a kid? Do you see some in your children right now? And do you think this is so me when I was a kid?
Yeah, I think especially the sort of like high energy that the girls have got, sort of bouncing around and like sort of, almost needing to kind of calm themselves down. So it's funny, my parents had taken them out today, and they said, they were in the back seat, and it was just like being with Chris when he was, that age, so much energy, so noisy and that.
Yeah. So your mom gave it back to you there because that's what you did when you were young. Oh, that's and another thing is how if they're being like very stubborn, because I've got a 2-year-old now, and I could see the the naughty things she does, and sometimes it's difficult to handle. Like, how are you able to handle such situations with two girls, not one now, with two girls?
It's, I suppose it kind of depends on the situation. If it's a case that they're kind of getting a bit too hyper, a bit too excited, try and sort of initially say to them, right, come on, calm it down. If they're still not listening, then maybe sort of say it a little bit louder just so they can hear. I know it's not great, but if it does get to the point where we have to kind of, say it quite loudly, stop, just kind of say to them, just calm it down, just take a breath, take a chill just for a second.
But it's just the feeling that they look at you and think, oh, mommy, don't you love me anymore? Like, why are you shouting? Like, I could tell when my daughter looks at me like, why are you shouting? How do you feel at that time? Because I know that I feel bad, like, oh my God, I've done something wrong to this girl,
It's difficult because you care for them, you love them, so you obviously want to look out for them, but then you also have to try and make them understand that there's a boundary. There's only so much they can't kind of step over that boundary. You kind of want to keep them, keep them online, as it were.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for those tips. Chris, do you have any final words for everyone watching? Like, any advice for parenting?
I don't think there's any kind of real one right way of doing it. Just kind of see how it goes as you go along, and kind of learn from your experiences as well. There's going to be times where maybe you'll do something one day and you'll kind of look back and think, oh, maybe I should have handled it differently. But it's completely a learning experience, and do the best you can. So that's all you can do.
Oh, great, brilliant. So you've heard it for yourselves, guys. Do what you can. Take it easy on the kids. Make sure that you speak to them in a polite way. And if they're not listening, just try to raise up your voice a bit and let them know that you're still in charge. Those are our tips for tonight. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, Chris. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I
no problem. Thanks for having me.
We'll come together one time, with the family together, and just have fun generally. Yeah,
it'd be nice to do that. Yeah.
Thank you for watching today, guys. Hope to see you some other time. Thank you so much. Thanks for the likes. Do not forget to subscribe, guys. Do not forget to comment if you have anything at all that you want to ask me, and I'll be very prepared to answer. Thank you. Good night. Bye.
All the best.